Good afternoon, students. It's your favorite foxy brunette with glasses professor, Miss Rivera, where if you could, you would, but you can't, so you won't. Hot bikini babe. Okay. Personal fitness trainer. Oh, okay, I see you. Fizz stick crackhead. Do I have a fizz stick crack? Oh, okay. I remember you. Do we not have a creepy photographer? Okay. In today's lesson, we're going to be talking about how I made $3,000 through influencer marketing while in class and in college. My semester in college just ended. I'm broke. No one is hiring. It's quarantine. How the hell can I make money online? All of these students have the potential to go ahead and make the same amount, if not more, through influencer marketing. So let's get into it, shall we? So, first and foremost, what's influencer marketing? Well, this is essentially when big corporations, big companies, and even smaller companies, instead of going the traditional route of paying for ads, commercials that you probably might have seen either before this YouTube freaking video or even just on TV, through the radio, instead of having to pay a whole bunch of money for that, they go ahead and reach out through individual people called influencers. It can be big companies or small companies actually. And if anything, it's actually better for smaller companies to go ahead and do this form of marketing because you can really reach out to that specific crowd of people. So there are different types of influencers. So we have micro influencers and macro influencers. So if you just happen to have social media or Instagram, you're probably more so used to the macro influencers. And those are people that have about, I would say like 50,000 followers onward. So those people definitely have a huge demographic of people that they can reach out to. However, in my video, I'm going to be focusing more on how micro influencers, people like me, are able to actually go ahead and do this type of job and still get paid a good amount. What does Bikini Babe, Fitness Bro, Creepy Photographer, and Fizz Stick Crackhead all have to do with this? Well, we're going to talk about who these people typically look for, the people that are hiring, or I guess you could say hiring, but scanning the internet for people that could be potential influencers for their brand. Now, typically they want some type of following. Again, I've seen people that were in the program that I was in for an influencer, basically an influencer collegiate program for this really big company. I'm not gonna say who, but you can kind of guesstimate through one of my videos, and if you go on my Instagram, you'll see a little story about all the stuff that they did. But yeah, they're looking for at least like 500 followers minimum. And with 500 followers minimum, people got like flown out. I got flown out twice to New York and Boston, and a whole bunch of really cool like gratis gifts. I think my friend Raymond, who I got into it, he got like an Apple Watch. There's another girl who got a smart TV. So as far as who they're looking for the people that can really generate crowds. So yes, I'm picking fun at the Fizz Stick Crackhead, but that Fizz Stick Crackhead has the ambition and the drive for what it takes to really make this stuff work. If they're willing to get amped up over
Fizz sticks,
they can definitely do this, and like, I know they mean well, but let's like redirect that into not that. Essentially what you want to look for, and surprisingly enough, you definitely want to have a good amount of engagement. So yes, Bikini Babe, you definitely get the comments on Instagram, so you have the potential to do this. Creepy photographer guy, I mean, you take photos, some of them are creepy, some of them are not, but you have the potential to do it to use engagement. They want to make sure that you're not just some freakazoid, which I've literally have seen some girl buy like 50,000 followers to try to bully photographers into giving her photos quicker.
They're not looking for you.
They're looking for the people that genuinely have good engagement. People watch their stories, people reply to their stuff, and they're just genuinely engaged. And it doesn't have to be pertaining exactly to what they do. I mean, for me, my niche is just the fact that, hey, I like modeling, I like taking photos, I like art, and people engage with that because the people who follow me typically like art, like modeling, like a lot of the other weird things that I like. So that's essentially how you want to build up first, is your engagement. Next, you want to go ahead and try to either seek out some of these companies or present yourself in a manner so that they would want to seek out you. So how do you do that? Aside from engagement, the way you present yourself is very, very important. While yes, Bikini Babe, you're gonna do great, you're gonna do numbers, you might want to clean up just a smidge. It depends on how you take those photos. Are you in a really nice little resort that parents paid for, or are you in a scummy frat party with Fitness Bro? That might make a little bit of a difference as far as when they decide to pick you for these influencer programs. But that's not the end all be all, because even I've had some photos where I uploaded where I was like, am I gonna lose my, oh, I don't care. And it ended up being fine. So as long as your stuff is relatively clean, polished, well executed, you should do fine. A couple of companies, look for your top 5. For me, I was a part of the Prime Student collegiate program with Amazon. So literally I get to say that Amazon flew me out, Amazon paid me, I want to say per semester, it was around $1,500 or so for just going ahead and either giving them a shout out during class, doing regular like posts on their behalf, or whatever they sent me, I would essentially promote, walking around campus. So this is literally how I just made like half of my money doing influencer work, and the other half was just either other promotional like local boutiques I would work for. And I say work for very loosely because whereas the Amazon ambassadorship was contracted and I could still be doing it now, but I just got tired of it. These other boutiques, I would just model for them. That's how I made essentially my other like $1,500 or so when I did all the like calculations of how much everything would be. So if you do stuff like that, and I know the modeling aspect might be a little bit harder, but that was my way of going about it. And even then I would have other companies reach out to me because they saw I was doing work with such a big company, and then also my own little thing with these boutiques that I was able to generate around $3,000 either in product, strictly just payment, which is really freaking nice, especially in a time like now where people want that money. But that's essentially how I went about doing it. So in Amazon's collegiate program, some people were honestly scouted through LinkedIn, which I thought was very interesting. Literally, if you just have like a nice LinkedIn profile and you look up for some of these ambassador jobs, just like you would any other job, believe it or not, you might be able to find something to apply. But typically what you would want to do is, if you're interested in these programs, Amazon has one that is through Riddle and Bloom. Victoria's Secret Pink also has one. I noticed and that one I was like kind of a part of, but not really. I was just like part of the crew members just to see what it was like and to learn how these people did it. I know Apple has one for sure, and Apple gives you some nice stuff. I've never done the Apple one, but that one's pretty nifty. Cengage Learning I think is another one that I know of. And there's literally like millions more. But usually you want to hit like higher up there for these companies, because those are the ones that are gonna be like in the Westin Hotel in Boston. You want to say the Standard High Hotel in New York? No problem, that's pennies for us. Meanwhile, you get to look completely ballin' with your nice little weekend trip in New York for a Ricky. So that's essentially how you want to go about doing it. You want to make sure your social media is concise. Hold yourself and present yourself as a business. For me, while I love having fun on social media, every single day that I post, or the way I essentially present myself is as a business. And even on YouTube here, you want to make sure you present yourself in a relatively professional manner. You can make little jokes here and there, get into the gritty of things, but ultimately you want to look reliable as a person. And then once you go ahead and either reach out to these companies or they reach out to you, you can go ahead and officially start your work. So how did I do this work essentially? What do they ask of you? What is necessary besides posting? So it's gonna be different, honestly, for each program. I know for the Victoria's Secret Pink program, collegiate program, essentially how that one works, let me give you some tips. How that one works is that it's almost like a weird sorority, which is why I didn't like that one as much. You essentially have these group of girls and you have 2 co-reps per campus. I think sometimes depending on the size, it could be more or less, but for that one you have 2 co-reps per campus. And then you have like a group of about 5 to 6 girls, depending again on the size, that are a part of like their crew that kind of help facilitate the programs, help, post pictures and that sort. Now the 2 girls that are the main ambassadors get all the gratis. They get flown out, I think twice a year or so, depending on the gratis and the things that they offer. They get the big like boxes of free product, free bras, free underwear, free clothes pretty much for 2 years, and a lot of nice stuff. But the girls that are like lower in tier, part of the group, they don't really get much aside for freebies here and there if those ambassadors decide to actually give it to them, because not every ambassador is going to operate like that. We'll keep it real. So that's how that one operated. I know for the one that I did, I really enjoyed it. I think they might have changed a couple of things since I left the program, however. And another thing too is if you want to go ahead and just use my name and throw yourself into the bucket, you throw yourself in the goblet of fire, use my name, more than likely they still remember me because I was that girl. I was that, not to toot my own horn, but I was that girl when I was in the program, because I think my picture even got featured in the training book. And I'll plop some of my photos somewhere around here, but they were nice photos. They were nice photos. That's a big part of, honestly, how you just get some of this influencer work, is having nice photos. Anywho, so with that being said, if you keep up your presentation, you look professional, you keep up with making content. Now, what I did is my little cheat is I would literally take whatever, I think I had my correct, so Raymond, and I would have a photographer. I would either try to pay them, or thankfully, again, since, you know, college students don't really have money, we can work out a trade where it's like, hey, I get, you know, this amount of whatever every so often, let me just like. And another thing too, if you're also a creative photographer and you already have the skill, I know how to take photos as well, so that's why I kind of like seldomly use other photographers. So when I was like, I don't feel like doing this, I would just have someone else help turn over the photos for me. Ha ha ha, fake laughing, ha ha. It's only this pen. But it helps if you work with a company that you can kind of like relate to, or you don't mind really working for, because I'm definitely the kind of person where if I smell something like it's BS that I don't like, I'm out. Keep up with content creation, make sure you look professional, keep up engagement. As far as gaining followers, I did like giveaways, and that was a big thing that kind of increased my follower intake. You can also do something called engagement pods, and this is a big T right here. Whenever you see those girls, especially in sororities, that post a picture and they get like 5 trillion likes in one shot, it's not because they're actually that cute. They have engagement pods in those babies, and they're going ahead and saying, hey, just drop this, Brad broke up with me, let's make him jealous. Like, comment, you're such a goddess, I love you, oh my god, you're beautiful, oh my god. That's literally what it is. So you can work through engagement pods. I don't know, it seems like it's kind of cheating the system, which all in all it is, but it does help boost your engagement. It helps to boost your overall visibility on these platforms to where people will actually take you seriously, to the point where you won't have to rely on those at some point. I honestly believe in taking into consideration all these little boosts until you get to the point where you're like, all right, I don't need this anymore, deuces. Do you have your engagement? Yes, yes, yes. Do you have content, relevant content, personal content, content that you have created, put your sweat, blood, and tears into? Yes, okay. And do you engage? Yeah, okay. All right. Well, it looks like you're ready to go ahead and start all this influencer crap, my friend. You pass, you barely pass, but you passed. And now you get to go ahead and reap the benefits of what it is to be an influencer. I mean, I freaking got featured with Calvin Klein. I was flown out to New York in one of their nicest hotels there, at least nice for me, because I was like, when I went to New York my first time, I was just scraggling. I was like, hey, can I stay with your grandma? And then my friend just happened to his dad works at a hotel, so he's like, oh yeah, I can give us like days for free, you know, and I was like, okay. And then so I went to, was it Standard High? That was nice. That was a nice time. I had fun. I got cookies. I went to all the really cute little places, and then went to Boston for my first time for free, dude. Like, there's nothing to lose out when doing this stuff. Thank you so much for watching. Please feel free to watch any of my other videos. I plan on making some more either pertaining to influencer work or just general financial awareness, because I feel like the young people during quarantine times, we need to know what's going on and not just feel hopeless, because we are not hopeless, we are just misinformed. So thanks again so much for watching. Please stay tuned for more of my videos. Love you guys. Bye.